The Battle of Marathon is a legendary battle fought between the Greeks and the Persians in 490 BC. The battle is considered a defining moment in world history, as the Greeks successfully repelled the Persian invasion force despite being vastly outnumbered. The victory at Marathon was a significant turning point in the Greco-Persian Wars, and it established the Greeks as a formidable military power. In this video, we will explore the events leading up to the battle itself, and its aftermath. In 490 BC, the Persian king Darius the Great sent an army to conquer Greece in retaliation for the Athenian support of the Ionian revolt against Persian rule. The Persian forces landed on the Greek island of Naxos and captured it. Then they moved on to Euboea, where they captured the city of Eretria. The Persians then set their sights on Athens, which was one of the most powerful Greek city-states. Athens was led by a general named Miltiades, who devised a bold plan to defeat the Persians. Miltiades convinced the other Athenian generals to abandon their defensive strategy and attack the Persian army while it was still disembarking from its ships. The Athenians marched to the plain of Marathon, where they awaited the Persian army. Led by 10 generals, including Miltiades and Callimachus, marched to meet the Persians. The Athenian army was composed of approximately 10,000 soldiers, including 1,000 Plataeans who had come to Athens' aid. The Athenians positioned themselves on a plain near the town of Marathon, with their flanks protected by hills and their front facing the sea. The Persian army, consisting of 15,000 to 100,000 soldiers, under the command of Datis and Artaphernes, landed on the coast and formed up to face the Athenians. Despite being vastly outnumbered, the Athenians launched a surprise attack on the Persians, charging down the plain towards them. The two armies clashed in a fierce battle, with the Greeks relying on their heavy infantry, known as hoplites, to break the Persian lines. The Athenian hoplites were armed with a long spear, a large shield, and a short sword. They formed up in a phalanx formation, with their shields overlapping to form a solid wall. This made it difficult for the Persians to break through the Greek lines. The Persians, on the other hand, relied heavily on their archers and cavalry. The Persian archers fired volley after volley of arrows at the Greek lines, but the hoplite shields proved effective at deflecting the arrows. The Persian cavalry attempted to outflank the Greek lines, but the Athenians were able to hold their position. The battle raged on for several hours, with neither side gaining the upper hand. However, as the battle progressed, the Athenians began to push the Persians back. The Greeks broke through the Persian center, driving a wedge into their lines. The Persians panicked and began to retreat towards their ships, which were beached on the shore. The Athenians pursued the Persians down to the shoreline, where a fierce struggle took place. The Persians attempted to defend their ships but were overwhelmed by the Athenian hoplites. Many Persians were killed in the battle, while others drowned trying to escape. The Athenians, on the other hand, suffered minimal losses, with only 192 soldiers killed. According to some scholars and researchers, these 192 soldiers were honored with sculpted figures in the famous Ionic frieze of the Parthenon. The Persian army suffered an enormous loss. The number of casualties remains unknown, but it is estimated that the Persians lost around 6,400 soldiers. This marked the first Persian defeat in their campaign to conquer Greece. The victory at Marathon was a significant moment in the history of ancient Greece. It showed that a small, democratic city-state like Athens could stand up to the might of the Persian Empire. It also showed that the Greeks could successfully defend themselves against the mighty Persian Empire. This victory was a significant turning point in the Greco-Persian Wars, and it gave the Greeks the confidence they needed to continue fighting. The victory was celebrated throughout Greece, with the Athenians sending a messenger named Phidippides to Athens to announce their victory. The famous marathon race, which is still run today, is said to have originated from this event. According to legend, Phidippides ran the 42 kilometers from Marathon to Athens without stopping, shouted Nike, which means victory in Greek, and then collapsed and died. The Battle of Marathon was not the end of the conflict between the Greeks and the Persians. In 480 BC, the Persians returned to Greece under the leadership of King Xerxes and faced the Greeks in the Battle of Thermopylae. The legacy of the Battle of Marathon is still felt today. The battle has been immortalized in literature, art, and film, and the marathon race, which commemorates Phidippides' run, is one of the most famous athletic events in the world. The victory of the Athenians has been interpreted and reinterpreted over time, and different perspectives have emerged. One of the earliest interpretations of the battle came from the Greek historian Herodotus, who wrote about the battle in his histories. Herodotus was an eyewitness to the Persian Wars, and his account of the battle was based on his interviews with Athenian soldiers who had fought at Marathon. According to Herodotus, the Athenians were outnumbered by the Persians, but they managed to defeat the Persians because of their superior tactics and the terrain. The Athenians formed a phalanx, a formation in which soldiers lined up shoulder to shoulder with their shields overlapping, and charged at the Persians. The Persians, who were not expecting this kind of attack, were taken by surprise and became disorganized. The Athenians then launched a counterattack, pushing the Persians back and causing them to flee to their ships. Some modern interpretations of the battle have challenged Herodotus's account. For example, some scholars have argued that the Persians may not have been as unprepared for the Athenian attack as Herodotus claimed. They suggest that the Persians may have intentionally lured the Athenians into attacking by feigning weakness, and that the Persians may have had a plan to deal with a phalanx formation. Another interpretation of the battle focuses on the role of the Athenian general Miltiades. According to this interpretation, Miltiades was a brilliant military strategist who outmaneuvered the Persians and won the battle for the Athenians. This interpretation emphasizes the agency of individual leaders and the importance of strategy in warfare. Yet another interpretation of the battle focuses on its significance for Athenian democracy. According to this interpretation, the victory at Marathon was a pivotal moment in the development of Athenian democracy. The courage and heroism of the Athenian soldiers at Marathon, and the victory they won, were seen as proof of the superiority of Athenian democracy over the autocratic rule of the Persian Empire. Finally, the Battle of Marathon was a pivotal moment in ancient history, and its impact on Western civilization cannot be overstated. The Athenians' victory over the Persians ensured the survival of their democratic institutions, paved the way for the Golden Age of Athens, and inspired the development of new military tactics that would be used for centuries to come. The battle has become a symbol of the West's commitment to democracy and individual freedom, and it remains an important part of our cultural heritage today. We hope that this video has provided you with a deeper understanding of the Battle of Marathon and its historical significance. Thank you for watching.